Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. And well, after the last couple of videos on the Volvo, getting the rear brakes and all of that sorted out, I had a couple of messages sent through to me. One was from Jeff. Thank you so much, Jeff, again dragging me in to help with the Volvo480. And well, it turns out I didn't quite get things right, so let's take a look. I think I mentioned this on the last video when I was starting to put together the rear brakes, caliper and things like that, that I was having to piece things together from old footage, pictures and videos and things like that. So trying to get things round the right way was a bit tricky. And someone that's actually helped the channel out before, Jeff, if you remember, was very kind, sorting out these lovely rear arms for me. He pressed the new bushes in for me and has given me tons of help. He popped a message through to me and he went, you know that you've got those completely on backwards pretty much. So yeah, it's time to redo this and try and get it the right way around this time. So I'm going to take the part off, take the caliper off, get things round the right way, and we'll see if we can figure out the right way of doing this, and maybe this time we'll manage to get it done. Take the caliper off first and I'll show you the problem. So here we've got the caliper and you can see that's where the handbrake cable goes in. Now the handbrake should come in at the bottom. You can actually see the handbrake cable kind of sits down that way anyway. So that is the wrong way around, which means this isn't the right hand side caliper, it's the left hand side. So what it means is I'm going to have to pinch the brake line up, crush it so that we can hold it off, because if you remember I've filled it all with brake fluid, and swap the calipers round. The upside is I do actually have all the right bolts and things to do this now, so we can put all the right bolts on and get that done up and put together properly this time. The other thing that he mentioned is that the backing disc, I think, was on the wrong way around, so I want to have a quick look at that as well. Let's see if I can get the disc out of the way. Okay, and you can see I've got the ridges on this side. Now I'm going to compare that against a photo that Jeff sent and check, because I can't remember if the ridges are supposed to be this side or the other. Okay, comparing the photo, actually I'll show you it. I don't think he'll mind me borrowing one of his photos. Ridges are the wrong way around as well, so that needs to be flipped. So this needs to come off again. Might as well take the caliper carrier off, because those bolts are wrong actually. Anyway, I've got the replacement for those as well. Again, the weather here in the UK isn't particularly encouraging, so I'm not making a lot of progress on a lot of outdoor jobs here because it's just not ideal. Actually, coming up on the channel are probably going to be a few home automation videos, so please do remember to subscribe if you do like a bit of combination, because I don't just stick to the car videos on this channel. Got a bit of home automation stuff coming that I think might be quite interesting to people, and maybe even helping save a bit of money on heating, because at the minute generally costs for fuel, gas and electricity heating are very expensive, and anything you can do to reduce those costs would be good. And also, you might have seen on my Facebook channel, have I been scammed? I was watching YouTube. I was watching Auto Alex, great alternative YouTuber channel. I'll put a link down the bottom. Love watching Auto Alex. And a YouTube advert came up, and for once I was actually hooked by it, and I've ended up buying what it was on the YouTube advert, but I'm not sure if it's a scam or not. So if the product arrives, I'll probably do a product review on it and see what you think. If it doesn't arrive, I'll also explain the scam, and you can see what you think. See if you would have fallen for it. You may have fallen for it actually, because I think it seems to be targeting a lot of YouTube channels. It's not car related. It's a smartwatch, so I'll probably talk about that in a full video. Right. Thankfully, my garden angel Jeff has pointed out the backing plate. Now, this one's been a bit of a pain getting the backing plate right. It looks like, again, I've actually got this in the wrong place. The backing plate should sit on the other side, which would make sense, but it's going to mean I'm going to have to take that off. You know, I had myself wondering whether I should put the brake shield on, because it does mean taking the whole assembly off. But we are where we are. I've got the parts. Be nice to do this properly, or as properly as I can. So, what size is this? 27mm. I've already loosened it. Easier to put it actually back on the axle to undo this. Let's get the hub nut off. Now, of course, that's a reference to one of my car heroes, Mr. Hubnut. I'll put a link to his channel at the bottom as well. We're linking to a few people this time round, but they're who I watch and who inspire me to do this sort of work. So if you're looking for someone to subscribe to, I would highly recommend Hubnut. He's about as right as I am sometimes with these things, but he has a go, and he fettles about with cars in a similar way. So, oh, that's a lovely action. And there we go. Now, we've got the whole thing off here. Now, I don't have a press, because if I did have a press, I would probably be thinking, whilst I'm at this point, should I be changing the bearings? But that's running pretty smooth. That feels alright, and I haven't had any inkling of a problem there. So you know what, I'm not going to change the bearings on them. Let's not do more than we need to. Just need to pop these bolts out. Like I say, I was using that to hold it in place. Let's just see if I can swap them over without having to drop everything back onto the floor. This will probably end badly, but we'll try it anyway. So that goes on there, like so. Bolt then goes through, and actually that now solves my ABS question. The ABS sensor, you know, I said on a previous video I cut that hole. That now makes more sense, doesn't it? Because the ABS sensor, and actually this is something that Jeff did say to me, that you shouldn't need to cut that hole there. Let's get those 4 in place, and that then means I can then get the hub and the hub nut back on and assemble that. Lovely job, that's looking nice. Let's get this back on actually whilst I'm here. The ABS ring is just a very fraction, camera's probably not going to show it, but the ABS ring is a fraction out. Might actually just knock that into place now before I put it back on. Easier to do now than when it's back on, I reckon.
It doesn't take much to be a hero. It only takes that small little light in your heart that you want to share.
Okie dokie, here we go again. You can see backing plate is now on and in place. I've put the old disc on just to get an idea of positioning, just making sure it's not fouling of anything, and that's running nice and smoothly. You can see the caliper and the caliper carrier is back in place now. The handbrake cable, let me just take you off the, there we go. You can see the handbrake cable I've kind of got roughly in place. I haven't hooked it on yet. That's going to take a little bit of adjustment and jiggery pokery, that kind of thing. And you can see brake pipe looks a bit happier as well actually, now that it all looks in the right sort of place. Moral of the story, make sure you keep a note of what you take off and the order that you take them off, because I think that's where I've gone wrong. It's been such a long project this, I haven't really kept track of what I've done in what sequence. So photos, I've said this before, take photos of everything you're doing if you're doing a restoration or a repair like this that's going to take time, so that you know what order and how everything should go back together, because it would have saved me so much time and energy, wouldn't it? Considering I thought last week I was done with this, this time I reckon we're there. I'm hoping you'll agree with me that this time round we've got it all prepped up and the rear ready. I think the bumper bar, crash bar and things like that are the next one, and that'll be the next video coming up shortly. So once again, thank you so much for joining me along on this journey. It's quite a journey, this one. It's taken me a lot longer than I intended to get this car sorted, but there's some things that I am trying to do right. Cannot say thank you enough to Jeff and everyone in the Volvo480 UK Facebook page and forums, because without their advice there's no way this will be back together working and as close to a reasonable Volvo 480 back on the road soon that it's going to be. So thank you so much to all of those people. Do put your appreciation down the bottom, I'm sure they would appreciate that, and a subscribe, like and a comment would really come in handy, just to give me a bit more encouragement. So I'll see you in the next video.